I don't know what to say, man. I just don't. So you remember I told you about the 77-year-old woman, you know what I'm saying, that was recently killed in Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. Well, they found, of course, I knew it was going to happen. They found her killer. And, of course, he was an IGGER by the name of Antonio Brown. And this is not the first run-in he's had with the law. He's been arrested several times. One of the occasions that he's been arrested is when he assaulted his own mother. Just yesterday at 6:20 a.m., Tuesday morning, they found a 59-year-old correctional officer dead in front of Gwinnett County Correctional Center, a prison. And they have a picture of the person that they suspect that took out the correctional officer. And of course, lo and behold, he was an NIGGER. Hours before that, in Gwinnett County, Snellville, to be exact, there was a African-American woman working in a car dealership, right? Masked man comes in, shoots and kills her, runs out. I'm not making this up. Fulton County, a street called Fulton Industrial Boulevard, they found in the grass and trees or whatever, a dead body. Several feet away on, Old Gordon Road. Excuse me, this was in North Atlanta. Old Gordon Road, they found a burnt body, a burnt deceased body. This also happened in Northwest Atlanta. A son killed his father. I'm not making this up. And people are still moving to Atlanta in search for the promised land. Now, I'll admit it to you. Charlotte's not perfect. Far from it. But it's crazy when it gets to the point where the criminals in Charlotte are looking down and making phone calls to Atlanta saying, yo, listen, could y'all cool it down? We take breaks up here. I mean, y'all are lit down there. It's always something happening like this in Atlanta. And it's ridiculous. And I know I catch this in the comment section of, my videos that I do about Atlanta. They're like, oh man, people that live in, black cities, they be like, oh man, Baltimore is like that, or Washington, D.C. is like that, or the Bronx, or Brooklyn, Memphis, Tennessee. What about Miami? What about Dallas, Houston, Baton Rouge, New Orleans? And it gets to the point where it's sickening. Because this type of behavior is happening to us. When I look at the Caucasian, race, and Latinos, and anyone that's non-black, you don't see this type of fuckery going on. You just don't. And a person such as myself, I want more for us. We've been through enough as a race, as a community. I want more for us. And it's to the point where you say to yourself, well, what can you do? Well, I can tell you one thing, stop moving to Atlanta. Atlanta's not the solution. Atlanta's not the promised land. You have to come, put it to you like this, you have to look at that man or woman in the mirror. And before you change and make a difference in your environment, you got to make that change and difference in yourself. Everybody is falling for the okie doke, for the glam and glitter. And that's real talk. I went to the Caribbean, where my family's from. West Indies, to be exact. And everybody over there is wanting to get their visa so that they can come to America. Because they think that the solution to their problems is moving to the land of opportunity, not knowing that if you're a minority, you're going to face a different type of adversity that you are facing now. See, one thing that I saw when I was over here in the West Indies, it is a third world country, they live in, they living kind of rough because they don't have much. But that's the point. They don't have much and they're happy. And that's what I try to explain to them. Here in America, we have everything and we're sad. There's people that's coming to the conclusion. Finally, there are a lot of people that have died, that have transitioned, and hadn't gotten to that point. But there are certain people on this planet that have gotten to that point in mind, in saying that, oh yeah, money can't buy you love, happiness. Can't. That at the end of the day, money is not even the root of all evil. People are. That plain and simple. So the change has to, exist within you. Get your mind right. Get your body right. Get your soul right. Because you can't control others. You can't. And if it's your will to move to Atlanta, move there knowing that you want change and growth within you. Don't move there thinking or believing that Atlanta's going to be the problem solver. That you just got to get away. Like your hometown is just that bad and the people are this way and then that way. See, this is the problem. This is what I learned all my life. When you start thinking negative, then negative things start to happen. Plain and simple. Yeah, true indeed, I'm not going to live in Charlotte all my life. But the purpose or reasons why I may move out of Charlotte is not because of the same reasons you want to move to Atlanta. Like, ultimately, I want to be, I want to live in a city, in a state where it's like, it's not cold. It doesn't get cold all the time. You know what I'm saying? Where the sun shines and, I'm near a beach. It's not the same. I don't want to move to a different place and because I heard it's Black Hollywood and it's this and it's that. I've already been down that road. And I can tell you, I was a fool thinking that Atlanta was the promised land. Straight up. And I get roasted all the time. Every opportunity a person gets, to roast me, they do in the comment section of my videos. Well, I don't think that you are a mature person because you took your family down there, you took a risk, and this and that and so forth, blah, 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 this and that and so forth. Well, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, you're right, I did take a risk. At the end of the day, you might have thought that was immature for me to take that risk, but guess what? It had nothing to do with you. And had I not took that risk, had I not gone through what I went through, I wouldn't be here to tell those that need to know what it's like to live in Atlanta before they make that move. People are so concerned with themselves to the point where they miss the message. That the real journey is within. And that's real talk. It's 2022, man, and I hardly hear anybody talk about self-love, self-preservation, self-confidence. Hardly hear anybody talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I talk about Atlanta because I have a love and hate relationship with Atlanta, and that's real talk. Well, I'm not going to say hate because hate is a bad word to use. I'll say a disliking. It's this type of mess of a 77-year-old woman living 77 years of her life, only to be taken, her life to be taken from a man. What was the point of purpose? Oh, let's talk about what happened. I think it was before or after Thanksgiving. Those two teenagers, a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old, that was killed at Atlantic Station. They didn't get to see that. They didn't get to turn 20, 25. They didn't get the opportunity to own their own house and drive their own car, have a family. Their life was taken from them. And I could go on with this, of the stories that happened in negative ones, murders, killings, robbings, shootings in Atlanta as well as around Metro Atlanta. But then again, that's the dislike, and that's what I don't like about Atlanta. But the love that I have is what Atlanta could have been. What Atlanta could be. It could have or could be that light or beacon of hope. But it's not. It's not. And it can't. Because materialistic, fake people are down there that refuse to let Atlanta be the Atlanta that it's supposed to be. Straight up, that's real talk. Why is it that just about every black city is just horrible, man? And it comes to the point where we have to be held accountability. We have to be accountable for our actions. We have to be held responsible for something. We get out there and a police officer kills one of us. Black lives matter. Black lives matter, and all the rest of that crap. We burning down stuff and all the rest of that stuff. And I know you've heard this numerous of times before. But when it comes to we killing ourselves, everything is quiet. Which makes no sense. It gets to the point where we have to sit back and ask ourselves, are we mentally stable? Because based on our behavior, it's obvious that there's something wrong with us. Some of us are permanently mentally scarred. Our mental scars are permanent. While others, there's hope. This is where we're at in 2022. We have to look at that man or that woman in the mirror and face reality. I know I've done it numerous of times. I'm not exempt from getting checked. I used to be an alcoholic, a womanizer, a booster. I used to go in malls and just steal clothes. I was a high school dropout and I had an opportunity to go to college. And I did, and I blew it. I had several opportunities to change my life. And each and every time I had those opportunities to change my life for the better, I sabotaged it. I got it in a way of myself. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you, men and women, that I'm my own worst enemy. In a minute that I realized that, that's when I started to change. Because you can't change people. The only person that you can change is yourself. That plain and simple. One thing that I realized before I was born and after, I die. That crime, murders, drugs, sex, violence, all that stuff is going to exist. It is. And the only thing that you can control is you and your environment. And by controlling your environment, I don't mean your environment like a city. No, your environment by living in your own bubble. Because really, your home is your castle. Once you walk outside those doors, it doesn't make a difference where you live. You can't control people. So, I ask you, to stop looking at Atlanta as a promised land. Straight up. We've done that before. When we were living in the South and we were freed, we fell for the okie doke, the hype of them telling us that the North was the promised land. And we moved up there and lo and behold, it wasn't. And now, those families, those same people, or generation after generation, you know what I'm saying? They're moving back down south. Black people are running once again. Running, and they playing musical chairs with us. And sooner than later, the music stops. And there's one chair, 5 people. So we have to come to a harsh reality. Stop running, face that man in the mirror, and realize the only change and growth is within you. That plain and simple. I don't know who needed to hear this, but I know someone needed it. And I'm glad that I was here to tell it to you. Other than that, my name is Langston2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely share this video.